Okay, class, here is your homework starter for chapter 10. And for this, hopefully you can see it properly, but we're going to look at chapter 10 homework and question 1. And you see the question here? It should be exactly the same for you in Connect, and I'll solve it here. Okay, so let's read it together. It says that Brussels Enterprises issues bonds at par dated January 1, 2021 that have a $3.4 million par value. They mature in 4 years and they pay 9% interest semi-annually on June 30th and December 31st. And then the question asks us for some journal entries. It says, number one, record the entry for the issuance of the bonds for cash on January 1st. Then it says record the entry for the first semi-annual interest payment and the second semi-annual interest payment. And as you can see from the question, it says that the semi-annual interest payments are on June 30th and December 31st. So we'll record them as of those dates. And then it says record the entry for the maturity of the bonds on December 31st, 2024. So that's when the bond becomes due. It's mature. And so we're going to be getting rid of that bond. Okay. So we're going to be reversing the bond entry. Let's start. Again, number one says record the entry for the issuance of bonds for cash um, as of January 1st, 2021. So we're going to start here, January 1st, 2021, the General Journal. So we issued these bonds. So that means we're going to be getting cash in exchange for them. So we're going to debit our cash account for the par value of the bond, which is 3.4 million. And the credit entry is going to be a bond payable for the same amount, 3.4 million. So that's your first entry. All right. I'm going to have to add some more rows here. You shouldn't have to add any rows because they're already in your software, but I'm going to add some more for my entries. Let me add a few more here. All right. Part two says record the entry for the first semi-annual interest payment. So we know that the first semi-annual interest payment is going to be on June 30th. So we're going to put our date, June 30th, 2021. Okay. And we typically pay this by cash. Interest is typically paid by cash. You may have interest payable, but this says that we made the payment. Okay. It didn't say that we accrued the payment. If it said that we accrued the payment, we would use an interest payable account, but it says that we made the payment. So we're going to make it via cash. So our debit entry is going to be bond, interest, expense, and my credit is going to be to cash because I'm making this payment via cash. Now I have to calculate it. So I'm going to go here. I know that this bond is 3.4 million. Okay. I know that the interest rate is 9% annually. So that's for the full year. So I'm going to multiply the 3.4 million times 9%. And that's going to give me $306,000. But again, this is for 12 months. It asks me for the semi-annual interest rate. Okay, so that means half of a year. So that means 6 months. I'm going to take the 306,000, divide it by 2, and that's going to give me my semi-annual interest of 153. So then I'm going to just put my 153 here. And forgive me, you may hear my son in the background. He decided to sing or whatever he's doing while I'm recording this video. Gotta love children. It asks us next for our second semi-annual interest payment. So this is going to be at the end of the year because we make the interest payments on June 30th and on December 31st. I'm going to go here. I'm going to type December 31st, 2021. I'm going to have my same entries, which is my bond, interest, expense, and cash. And since it's a semi-annual payment, it's going to be the same amount, 153,000, 153,000, and 153,000. Okay. Now the last entry asks us to record the entry for the maturity of the bonds on December 31st, 2024. So we're getting rid of those bonds and we're paying that cash back to whoever we borrowed it from. Okay. So I'm going to put December 31, 2024. And I'm going to reverse this entry. So up here, I had my bond payable. Now I need to make that 0. So if I made a credit to increase the account, now I'm going to make a debit to decrease that account. So I'm going to make a debit to my bonds payable account. And it's going to be for the full maturity value of that bond, which is 3.4 million. And then I'm going to pay back whoever I gave this bond to, I'm going to pay them back by cash. So I need to take this out of my cash, and to take cash out of my account, I make a credit. And that is question number 1. Thank you.